Welcome to Power Automate in a Day, Lab 6. The goal of this exercise is to learn how to compare dates, how to use filter array, and how to filter data in the data source by specifying a oData filter. All of this can improve your flow performance. Let's go. The goal of this exercise is to create a Power Automate flow that will analyze an Excel file containing tasks. The system will check the status column of this task, and if the task is not completed, so it's not done, then it will check if the task is not too late. So in this Excel file, we have the following columns: task, status with different status, started, not started, done, the person in charge, and the deadline. And actually, we have two files, one containing the deadline in text format, like this, and another file, same name, but with dates, containing the deadline in date format in Excel. Okay? So there are differences. Okay, so make sure that you upload both files into your OneDrive for Business. And then we can start creating the Power Automate flow. So let's create our flow. Well, this could be an instant cloud flow or a scheduled flow. Let's take manually trigger flow, late task, and we will connect to Excel Online, list row present in the table, connect to OneDrive for Business, select the text version of the document in OneDrive. So OneDrive, the text one. So make sure you pick up the good one. So date in text.xlsx, table 1. Let's rename our action. The name does not really matter here. And what we want to do is to just filter the ones that are not done, right? These are the ones that might be late. So how can we do that? The bad way is to create a loop. So let's put an apply to each, where we will connect the output of this list row. Let's rename the apply to each, right? And we can put a control, a condition, and in this condition, we will check here, function, if status, wow, you see when we do that, it creates a for each. That's not good, but if status is, yeah, so we can get rid of this. Let's move the condition above, right? So we can just move the condition and delete the for each. Okay, so in the condition, we need to check if the status is not equal to done. This is equivalent to typing item parentheses, question mark, bracket, status, right? So it's the same. Don't forget to click add. Yes, add. Okay. Sometimes this one is gray. Let's put a value, done. And then we should be able to change this. not equal to, yeah, this one. Okay, so basically for each item will be filtered in this apply to which is not very efficient. But okay, let's try this. We will improve that. Check if status not done. So if status is not done, then in the left branch, in the true, yeah, we need to, before we are going to store that in an array. So let's add a variable before, which will be an array just to keep the list of all late tasks. So let's name this variable var late task. Same here, var late task. The type should be array. Okay, so basically, right, in the true here, we will append all result into this array, to this array. There is a, no, not this, not set variable. It's not set variable, let's delete it. It is append to array variable. Append, we have append to string, it's append to array. Right? Yeah, append to array. Okay, let's grab this one. And the array is var late task. Let's rename this action. And here, what we are going to put is some JSON data in our array. And the JSON data will looks like this. So task, and we're gonna put task value here. Oh, it generated for each. That's not good anytime we use this. Deadline, and the deadline will come from deadline here. So every time we do that, it put a for each. Huh? So we can move our code above and delete the yeah, here. Right? We don't need this. We don't need this for each. Right? So that's better. Okay. Deadline. This should be fine. And when we will complete the apply to each, we want to store this in a compose so that we can immediately see in debugging mode what we have, what has been filtered. So let's use a compose, rename it, input from the variable, the array, the filter array, basically. Okay, so this looks fine. Now we can, let's, so our flow looks like this. And we can test this. We can test it. Save. First time we need to save it and test. Okay. Now let's take a look at the compose, which should see all the tasks without the task with done. Of course, I don't see the status here, but based on my Excel document, I should see, yeah, done is buy a porch and buy fruit. So I haven't seen that in my workflow. There's no buy a porch, there's no buy fruit. So that's fine. Okay. So we can improve the performance of this by filtering the status in the list rows. And indeed, in the list row, we have a filter query where we can specify an oData filter. And the expression is status NE in oData, which is a standard language, is not equal, if status NE done. And it will filter that from the server, right? So the filtering does not take place in Power Automate, it takes place in the connector or in the server. So let's test this just to see if it works. And that means that we won't need the condition anymore, because in the condition we just check if the status is done, right? So it should be fine. So indeed we have only 5 instead of 7 items in the Excel. So it works well. So what we need to do now is to replace this check of the status with checking if the date is before the deadline, right? And to do this, so we cannot delete this condition here, so we will replace it with something, an expression that allows to compare two dates. And we can do it because here the deadline is in text format. That means we can rely on a function, a time function called ticks. Ticks, where is ticks in the documentation? Yeah, here, return the value of a timestamp, so the number of ticks in nanoseconds since 1st January of one specific year in the past. And we can compare that to now, and now can be found by using UTC now function. So let's rename this, check if not late, and here we should use a function. Yeah, we should do this ticks of deadline, so item deadline. You can grab it from dynamic value, deadline here, deadline, item deadline, okay. Add, don't forget add, is before today. So before means the ticks, which is a value, is less than the ticks of today. Ticks and today, well, actually not today, now is UTC now. Okay, so we compare two ticks. Don't forget to remove the done just before the ticks expression here. Remove done. Okay. Right. Okay, this is fine. So now it should work. Okay, let's test the flow. Of course, it's not very efficient because we have a loop and in each item we check, but we will improve that later on. Okay, it's running. Right, so let's see if we have the late task. it looks like we have the late task. So if I go to the, yes, let's add a new task here. Clean the room. Clean the room. Okay. Not started. Same person in charge. And the deadline will be next year. So today we are in 25. Okay. It should be a text. I'm gonna copy. Yeah, I'm gonna copy the style here, and I will format that. Yes. Oh, yes, it's a number. Looks like it's a date. So let's copy the format of this cell. Let's apply that down below. Okay, like this. Fine. Let's copy that and let's change that to 26. So it's in the future. The deadline is in the future. So it's not. It should not be included. It's not a late task. So if I run the flow again, yeah, it did. Test, run the flow, and normally it should be fine. We should not see clean the room. Okay, looks fine. Okay, it's not there. Let's check. Let's put that in 24. I need to make sure that the document is really, that the cache has been flushed. Not sure that it's automatically saved or flushed into in the backend. So now I should see clean the room here, but I don't see it. Yeah, yeah, I think I need to refresh the document. So let's go to the Excel document. So now I would like to optimize this flow by getting rid of the condition. And I can do that by using an action called filter array that filter locally an array of value in Power Automate. So here, filter array, data operation, and after list row present in a table, you just need to provide an array. The array comes from the list rows. And you can provide your Power Automate expression to define the filter query. So here, I'm going to use this ticks expression, copy that, as to define the logic. So here, I need to paste that in a function, fx, or not directly in fx, sorry. Remove this, click fx, and now put the expression, so the function here, fine. So if this expression is less than, and I'm going to put the expression, the other one, the other side of the expression here, which is, so ticks of UTC no. UTC no, right? I could have copy and paste from the condition, right? So exactly the same. So it's a very powerful filter, something we cannot do in oData. And now, let's rename it. Now we should be able to get rid of the apply to each. and of course a condition. Okay, run. If I check this, it should be fine. I should not find the clean the room one. So that's cool. Okay, so of course I don't need to apply to each. Delete. Okay. I don't need this compose anymore. And what I can do is, yeah, I can save. Let's test to make sure it works. But what I can do is I can put create an HTML array just to send the report by email or whatever, as we did in the previous exercise. Okay, so I can send this to the HTML table, and of course I can customize the HTML table. We did it before, so I won't do it again. It's automatic by default. Okay, cool. Okay, so we get some HTML, so it's fine. Now what we can do is switch to the other file. So in the other file, the deadline is in date format. This one. It's in date format, and this changes a lot of things. So let's switch to this file, save. So if you run it like this, if you run the flow like this, we will get some error. As you can see here, invalid template. The value string was not valid. So we need to change this because indeed, internally, if we take a look at the date internally in the array, the deadline is actually a number. You see, deadline is 42737. So it is a number. So why is this a number? What does that mean exactly, this number? Well, actually, it is the number of days between 1899, 30 December, and your date, right? So this number of days is actually a number. And what we want is we want to have a normal format, right? So we just need to add this number of days to this date, and we'll get a date, right? So we have a function called add days. So add days, this number to this this date will give us another date. Let's do that. Edit our flow, and in filter array, the text expression need to be updated because now we want a normal date, but we need to use add days. So first we need to cast this into an integer because the deadline is actually a number, but it's a string. So let's transform that into an int, and let's use add days. Add days. The first parameter of add days should be the date I showed before. That means 1899 December 30, right? So this should be fine. Let's see the number of parentheses. 1, 2. There is one missing parenthesis, I think. That's the parenthesis of, yeah. Let's see if it works. It looks fine to me. Update. Yeah. Okay. So test. And this should work, I think. Yeah, cool. Okay. So we have the grid HTML. Everything is there. Looks fine to me. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this exercise, and you can move to Lab 7. Thank you.